All right. If you're wondering what happened with the radio, I could not get the chip out. The chips, I ground the top off the chip back and forth, and I cut the leads to the chip, and the chip won't come out. Now there is a ground plane on the bottom of the chip, so I think you really need a lot of heat concentrated in that area to get it out. But in the interim of trying to get it out, this unit gave up the ghost. You know, there's a lot of vibration using the Dremel tool. So in order to get this out of my head, I went on eBay and looked around. First I went to Amazon, and Amazon sells the radio for $280. Most of their cheapest one's 150 something. So I went back on eBay and I found a dealer in New Jersey. And I ordered one for $107, but it has to be updated, which I know how to do. And that's what I bought. And I'll get it. I'll try it out. And I know it should work on AM broadcast band without updating it. See, I wasn't sure. Okay? I didn't know if it was something I was doing wrong. And then I'm thinking, okay, it's basically a demo. It lets you see FM. You got to update. So I figured out how to update it. And then the AM didn't work. And then you saw I took it apart. I had to pry the battery off. And underneath, basically, it looks like someone had worked on the radio before. And you got to have the equipment for these things, okay? And I just wanted it out of my head. So I bought another one. The dream is still alive that I'm going to sit there late at night and basically use the radio before I go to bed. And then it can switch to FM band. You know, it's not like it's a total, what you saw, basically a clunker. But this radio should go for about $58. There's almost nothing in it. And for them Amazon dealers to sell it for $280, it's a super ripoff. Like I said, if you really want a good radio, get yourself a DX390. And hopefully you get a good one, because those have a problem with, if you touch the antenna and you're statically charged, you could burn the front end out. And that's basically what sort of happened to this one. Okay? You know, I got it. I showed you me opening the box. It did look sealed. Okay? But as soon as I lifted the battery, you go look at the video. As soon as I noticed these two chips here have been changed. This thing has been reworked. Okay? And hopefully I get a good one. That's where I'm at now, you know. Now that I have one coming, I can put this thing out of my head. Okay? And I might think about getting surface mount equipment. You know what I mean? You're talking probably $300 to get a desolderer, and then you still got to troubleshoot the radio. And I don't know at this point. Like I said, that was a gift to myself for Christmas and for my birthday, and it's been nothing but a pain in the ass. Oh, and I looked at other videos, and I went reading, and other people have gotten ones that are total that don't work. And they did videos. So in other words, it's hit and miss with these things, and they're not repairable. Okay, and but I look at it this way: I have spare parts now. You know, it is what it is. But I have to get this thing out of my head, because tomorrow will be a complete week of my life that it took, and I'm very fanatical, and I know it, and that's why I really don't want to touch anything more electronic, because I stay with it until I can't take it anymore. And I got to remember to redo my tip on my soldering iron. I still got that thing on there. That should have worked. That would have worked if the chip didn't have a ground plane on the bottom of it. You got to really heat that chip up. That's why that chip is ceramic. And you got to heat the board and the chip, because if you just heat the pins, underneath that ground plane is stuck to the circuit board, soldered to the circuit board. And that's because that chip can go up into the megahertz or gigahertz. And when you go up in gigahertz, everything has to be a certain way. It's microwave. So, you know, I when I first put that iron on that chip, I'm like, why isn't this moving? I expected it, like, me to screw up and come off with the IC with some of the traces still stuck to the bottom of it. And it didn't happen. And then I went looking around, and then once I ground the chip, and let's see if it's in the front. I ground the chip, and I can actually see through the top of the chip into the ground plane. There's a square ground plane that's actually soldered to the board. I think that's it. All right, that's it.